Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Season 2 of Mini RPG of the Week. My name is Nualaik. Here to bring the start of Season 2 with me is QDC, Quantum Deathcat. How you doing tonight? Well, this
Doing
afternoon, I
great.
suppose.
Well, can you see the light out here? I mean, if it was
Blinding.
if it was 7:30 my 8 p.m. now my time, right? It'd be dark outside for the last 2 hours, right? It'd look as pitch black as midnight. So I'm enjoying the lovely sun as everyone else can enjoy it as it deep fries my face. How are you doing, actually, Nua?
I'm doing pretty well. We're still fresh off the success of our Season 1 finals tournament, which was an awful lot of fun. Had a French pro come in to win the whole thing, and the Frenchies beating out Hazard in the final, forcing the one Dane who made it to that top four all the way down into fourth place. I mean, just a united front by the French, and to be honest, they're showing up here for the start of Season 2 in strength as well. I'm already seeing a lot of French names on the server. I'm seeing Yannick's back on the server as well for it, and I'm looking forward to kicking off Season 2. Things are going to be the same but different here for the start of Season 2. For the most part, we are just going to be running our standard mini RPG of the week format. We're going to have 25 new maps over the course of the next 25 weeks coming at you. It's going to be the usual 15-minute quick warm-up and then a cup of the day style knockout, but we're probably going to mix things up a little bit now and then, here and there, maybe some slightly different map styles, maybe just changing things up in terms of the way we do things, so stay tuned for more developments on that. As always, the RPG Discord is the place to be for that, but to kick things off, we are going bog standard QDC. We are just doing cup of the day style knockout. We are giving players 15 minutes to learn the map, and we're kicking things off with a brand new mapper, Australix, who we've never seen before on MROTW.
So obviously you have a new style of map that comes in through here, which is completely just penalty grass and penalty sand, right? And everyone loves penalty grass and penalty sand mixed with,
Well,
of course, everyone's favorite reactor.
Well, this is
right?
still the warm-up map, so correct, yes, these are the things that are happening in the background that the players can't see yet.
Okay, so it's a different map.
It is going to be a different map. The map we've been promised is one that mixes an awful lot of different styles together. I think he's basically said he's going to introduce every single surface possible, that every idea he had for a mini RPG map, he's just put down on paper to see exactly what comes out of what happens when you throw everything you have at the wall, see what sticks.
Throw everything at that wall and see if anything sticks at that point, right? Well,
Pretty much.
If you throw that much, I think a lot will stick, but a few things won't, and so we'll see what the players like, what the players don't like, as well as, I mean, you just came off of a Cup of the Day. Well, not you specifically, but a lot of the players did, right? And so you just played Cup of the Day, now you're going to play a second Cup of the Day pretty much with a, I think, much trickier map, right? Our mini RPG maps are often just a little bit trickier than their Cup of the Day counterparts.
They tend to be. I mean, we've definitely seen some very tricky ones along the way. There was the one that fit into that full 5x5 cube space that caught a lot of people out with how difficult it was. We've seen some very difficult maps. I know Rackham was the one that came up a lot during our finals over the weekend, that red plastic map that really tested players to the limit. And we saw some exciting mistakes on that one at times as well. But players are loading into our map for the week. We are going to be playing on Fall Morning by Australix, and already looking at from above, I mean, that's a pretty looking map from above. We're looking forward to seeing how this one does play out.
That actually kind of looked like my morning this morning. It was misty outside. It looked like we were inside of a cloud, and it looked very, very ominously Halloweeny outside. I would say.
Yeah.
Especially with all the pumpkins that everyone's got outside their houses.
I haven't actually seen a pumpkin outside just yet.
Really?
Yeah, I guess that's maybe on me. I haven't really been looking for them.
All right. Well, let's see the GPS here from Alpha Dream. What is? I do believe this would be the author time as well.
Yeah,
so...
this is Australix driving the GPS, so I guess this is a pretty easy way for us to get the run through the map to kick things off. Australix has told us as well, he normally tends to map transitional styles, and I think based on the notes we've got, we're going to see some transitional sections here that jump off the ice into a dirt bug sliding low speed then through this section, a sausage jump into it, just a brief moment of half pipe there, and that is a dirt sausage block, which is always interesting to see. A wall bang, the second one I believe in mini RPG of the week history as well. The other one being that map that made it into our cup finals. That looks like an awkward jump down into the plastic. This is definitely feeling very transitional so far. There's a lot of jumps that I think we're going to see players missing. There are jumps where things are going to go awry for them. Alpha Dream deciding that's enough of that, just going to try and drive it themselves.
Yeah, I think honestly this map is going to be very difficult. I mean, at least you got 15 minutes, right, to learn it. Unlike some other events where you have hours to learn it beforehand. This one is brand new to all of these players, and so they are not ready for what's to come here. The good luck, have funs. We're in chat from Zetorate, but yeah, it's gonna be rough for a lot of these players. Even Marius can't seem to find a way to get past this part. But then again, I don't think he went through and watched the GPS.
No, not quite just yet. He's just stuck upside down on a sign at the moment. And hey, Zetorite, of course, our lovely admin, has clearly decided that we are going to kick Season 2 off with a bang. We're going to... Look, we're not messing around anymore. Season 1, it was all fun and games. Season 2... Yeah, you're going to struggle a little bit here on this one. Why don't we see what Yannick's is up to? He's going for a little bit of a fly. This plastic section, it's catching people out so far, QDC.
It is definitely making people's lives extremely difficult. Even Yannick's here can't find himself out of this exit. Well, I think he just found the exit, right? But now he needs to find the way through. And that's, I think, the hardest part is, there you go. Just finding the way. And I think we're going to see a lot of DNFs in this first round, right? Where after these 15 minutes and then the warm-up round, right? I think we're going to see there's a lot of players in this server. I'm gonna say at least 14 victims.
Hazard is one of 5 players to have finished so far, and having finished, immediately decided to go and watch the GPS. Yeah, fair.
Let's see how it's done from his end, right? Ooh. As Corzo,
look at this risky fin as well. Oh no! Alex, what have you done? It's evil. It's cruel. Terrific. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for players to drive. This is going to be a fun map to watch, as you said. I think we're going to have an awful lot of DNFs at the start.
Yeah, I think 14 might be underestimating it.
Might be honestly optimistic. We're already up to, it looks like 76 players. So I think we could well be heading for closer to 20. I don't know. We'll see once the map actually starts. I mean, it's one of those questions as well. This is obviously a very difficult map to learn. The question is, how difficult is it going to be to drive? Probably pretty difficult, I think, is a safe bet so far. But, you know, I mean, these are maybe not impossible lines to copy after a while. At least, look, this first jump is doable, leads nicely into the second jump as we follow on board with Corzo. Need to be careful going into that water that you're going straight in. You do not want to get that bounce in rounds. You don't want to be losing time getting down to that reactor boost as soon as possible. And then it's up to the wall here as Corzo has forgotten the way. And that's just a little bit unfortunate.
Now, this map isn't the longest, right? But you get 3 out of the 4 checkpoints within the first 20 seconds-ish, I would say. And so this looks pretty cuttable, actually. I would like to see what Alex did to get this map down into a state where he felt like no one would find a cut. Let's
observe for ourselves and make sure that the checkpoint counter isn't broken. Because I'm not gonna completely believe, like, that's checkpoint 4. Excuse me, voice break, real voice reveal. Right, that can't be the last checkpoint. I refuse to believe that's... No, look, there's more. Yeah, see, there's more. It's just broken checkpoint counter. It's fine. Okay. That scared me for a second. Yeah, I agree. 4 checkpoints on a 56-second map, because that is what Alex believes will be a good time in rounds. 4 checkpoints would be pretty wild.
Corzo's hit the finish. He should be done with this. What do you mean we gotta continue?
No. There's, I believe, 10 checkpoints just going off here in the top left where I can see players heading towards that finish. 10 checkpoints on the map.
Ooh, can you? No, there's no way, right?
But there's a checkpoint at the bottom there.
Smart.
Very nice. Yeah.
Actually, a really smart reset. And no cut. Okay, so you can decide to not cut, getting no airtime. You might actually be faster off of exit here, which means you jump higher off of that little jump.
Yeah, this is
which
the
makes you
section we've
slower in
seen
this area.
a lot of players struggling with right here. It's this one, and then you need to get a lot of height, but not getting so much that you jump out to the left there. It's a line that, look, 9 minutes left. We're expecting, you know, our top players will figure this one out pretty quickly. And then it does go through. And I think we've already seen, I saw, for example, Yannick's in the chat with the plus, you know, enjoying the map so far. And I think it is a map that, because of its transitional nature, is going to feel very smooth to drive once you get a hang of it. Now, this finish, I think, is going to maybe color some of our players' opinions.
I mean, to be fair, there is a safe finish down there that's relatively easy, and it won't lose you too much time, right? And especially on a map that's as hard as this, I think you could just go safe finish every single time with no real issue.
How safe is the safe finish, though? Okay.
Pretty safe, I would say,
Like,
unless you do that.
Yeah, like, I still think the lack of control coming out of that finish is going to catch a few players out.
Oh, man. Well, the thing is, I think more so this ending right here that Marius just jumped off of, that last transition is completely blind, right? There is...
True.
It's all muscle memory. And so I think that's the only thing that I would be negative about, right? A blind transition is extremely hard to deal with in any game, right? Whether it's a platformer or a racing game, especially a racing game like Trackmania, where everything's as complicated as can be. I mean, just look at everything that you have to go through just to get into this finish, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Marius is flying everywhere. Nice little 360.
I need to know exactly what the trick is for this finish, because look, I'll hold my hands up and say it. I don't know enough about ice reactor physics to know exactly what's meant to be happening here. It's some kind of ice slide into that upper finish, holding speed through it?
So what's happening there is you need to get backwards. So what's happening is that's a reactor down.
Oh, and you need to get backwards to get reactor up to then fly into the finish. I see.
Which is why people are going backwards through that finish. Because that way you have reactor up, and when you have reactor up, you don't fall down.
God, that's cruel. Also,
so look, pretty much.
Sorry, I just wanted to highlight there something that happened to Marius, which is, as we said, need to be careful about your entry into the water after this jump, because you go through this quarter pipe, and then if you land sideways off the jump, if you're landing like this, well, okay, the tree got in the way there, a little bit of a yep 3 to 9 the point. You will start skipping across that water like a stone. You're not going to get the reactor down. And Marius, in fact, skipped all the way across it on his previous attempt and lost an awful lot of time because of it. That's just something to keep an eye on. That's going to be a big time loss for some people in rounds.
Yeah, definitely. This is why I think that there's going to be so many DNFs in this first round.
Yeah.
Even with 6 minutes left and a lot of the players knowing how to do the map, right? Knowing how to do the map is very different from being able to do it consistently without dying every... Oh, wait. You need to go and get that checkpoint, right? All the way at the bottom?
Yep.
So you must hit the back here. You must hit that back wall.
Yeah, which does at least help you line up.
That's something that someone might forget.
Yeah, it could be done, and that'll, if we see anyone going flying through the finish and not finishing, I mean, it'll be a very pog moment for a stream. It'll also be a little bit upsetting for them, no doubt.
True. You got to properly practice this map, I would think, right? Whether, no matter what player you are, whether you're Alpha Dream, whether you're Corzo or Marius, you all have to practice this map, just checkpoint from checkpoint, right? And get it all down. Because once you're into the rounds, you won't be able to do so. And what's the timer after finish looking like?
I believe it'll it's normally set by Zeterite. I'm going to guess it'll probably be close to a minute on this one. Honestly, that seems fair to me. I mean, what Alex again was saying, for a good time in rounds, he's expecting players to get it down to around a 56. At the moment, closest we've gotten, 5 minutes left of warm-up here, 57.79 by Hazard, and he is a full 5 seconds ahead of anyone else with a third of our warm-up time remaining.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be really rough for a lot of players, but as well as no one's really going for fast times at this point, right? Everyone is just learning the map more so than anything else, because right now there is no point in going for a fast time, because it's more important to get these down pat, right, to not mess up during the rounds. It doesn't matter whether your times are fast up until the end of the match, really, right, where as long as you haven't made a single mistake, right, as long as you haven't had a major 10-second crash, during rounds, you're probably going to be top 8 very easily, right? Now, it's going to be very hard to do so, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to do so. But if anyone were to be able to do so, even if they were like 3-4 seconds off the pace, right? They'd still make it to top 8. And that's, I think, more important right now is the consistency, and you'll get a high placement thanks to that consistency.
Yeah. Consistency key. That's why eyes on a player like Marius, when it comes down to it, has been a very consistent player. Still, as a result, holding the record for the most mini RPG of the week wins out of anyone. But that doesn't mean he's unbeatable. In fact, we saw in that finals, didn't make the finals ultimately. And, there has been weeks when he's been here and has been beaten. He's here most weeks, if we're being honest. And God bless Marius for playing every community tournament that comes his way. We always appreciate it.
Oh, man. Every cup of the day, every cup of the night, every cup of the morning, every community tournament, he plays in it. The only community tournament he didn't play in was Canada versus the USA, and that's because he couldn't.
I mean, but hey, like, you give him temporary citizenship, he's there.
Right, exactly.
Yep. But yeah, we'll see how this map does end up going. I mean, look, time check. We're down to our last 3 minutes. Players, really, this is the point where the map or things aren't going to get a whole lot better for you. We're still only with one player inside the 1 minute mark. This is brutal. Honestly, I think showing this is probably, I'm going to call it now. I think, the YouTube title on this one is Hardest Mini RPG of the Week map ever. And then you add like 5 exclamation marks and 3 question marks afterwards as well. This is gonna be a rough one.
Now, I do want to point out that it's not just the map that's hard, it's the GPS also that's hard, right? Getting to the GPS is one of the hardest things. You just saw like 3 people trying to go for it and all failing to try to get up there. And I think it's obviously done on purpose so you can't accidentally do it, but that's still a pain, right? To try and get up there because you're starting off straight, then you try to turn on the plastic. That's not working, right? Yep. You just fly off.
Yep, it is our second time having a hard to reach GPS on Mini RPG of the Week, and yeah, it caused a little controversy last time. So we'll see what the will of the people is after this one. But I think we'll be fine. Let's see. Corzo there landing at an angle, still making it down into the water. Look again, water physics. How do they work? I don't know. I'm no scientist. It gets a little bit funky at times. But we're going to see someone lose a very good run to that water section at some point in the middle. We're going to see someone eliminated because of it, or at least some excitement because of it.
Sure. We're definitely going to see a lot of scuffed runs. And to be fair, right, why learn water physics when they change every week? So this point in time,
true.
This point in time, it's really hard to get everything down. As Corso, I thought he was going to get a beautiful slide there, but just couldn't grip. That's a little bit of miscalculation, but I think for Alex, overall, it's a really nice map. It's going to be really hard, and my guess of 14, I think I underestimated this map by far. I'm gonna move those goalposts by 10, 24. I think we're going to lose a third of our field in the first round.
All right, I will hit you with a guess of 19. I'm going to go 19. Look, I trust the player base. And I trust Zeterate to be kind and give us the high timeout counter as well. I think that's liable to happen. We'll definitely wait and see. It is going to be fun. I think that's we're going to see some excitement. We're going to see some slide outs, as Corzo has demonstrated for us unwillingly, I'm sure, a few times in the last little while. This wall bounce, looking fun. I mean, again, look, the world record for this map is going to be a joy to watch because everything is going to be smooth. This is one of those maps where you're like, yeah, put this to a bit of music. It's going to flow nicely, But in terms of getting that run, it's going to lead to a lot of bonks. There's going to be a lot of slide outs. There's going to be some frustration. With 8 seconds left on it, I look forward to seeing that frustration. I look forward to seeing the exciting rounds that, look, I feel like we're almost guaranteed at this point on our map, on Fall Morning, on Mini RPG of the Week Season 2.
Hey, listen, we got lingo in this match as well, right? I'm ready for some salt.
Oh, surely not. Surely never.
Surely never. So warm-up round. Let's see how long it takes for people to finish this. As I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't think there's gonna be too many sub-1s in these first rounds, right? Especially with people trying to safe it at first and not really worrying about getting a really, really solid time. It's going to be more about just saving it and not crashing too hard to fall down the order too far. So this point in time, I don't think we're going to see a sub 1 for at least like the first 2-3 rounds. And then afterwards, we're going to see 1, 2, and then by the end of it, I think everyone should, like in top 8, should be able to sub 1.
What if Lingo just get... Oh, I was here.
No,
well,
no,
there
no,
you
no,
go.
no.
Never mind. We have got confirmation from Zederate that because the map is just a little bit harder than usual, we are going to have a 1 minute 30, a full 90-second timeout timer on round 1.
Okay.
I don't know. Does that change your mathematics of it at all?
Yes, because for me, I thought it was going to be 30 seconds. Right? With 30 seconds, I thought, okay, yeah, a third of the field it ain't going to make it, right?
Yeah.
But with a minute 30 on the field here, I mean, Lingo finished 12 seconds behind Niskubi, who had a 1 minute 2, right? I mean, when your first place time crashed at least twice, you know this is a good map.
Yeah, it's true. It's going to be rough. I mean, look, again, I do love a lot of these transitionals. The issue being, for some of these players, there's just so many of them, you know? I think there's a difficulty of trick that we've seen 1 or 2 of in Mini RPG of the Week maps before, and there's just a pile of them here this time around, which, hey, I mean, it's going to provide for exciting viewing, and it's a taste of what a more difficult map can look like. I think it's nice to get that sometimes in Mini RPG of the Week and remind people that, yeah, this is a map style that lends itself very well to being very difficult as well. There are a few of these floating around out there. We'll see how it goes for the players. 20 seconds left on the timeout here in our warm-up, and then we'll be away with round 1 of the week.
So how many people... So at this point in time, about 20 people have not finished. So I just want to say this is going to be really rough as we head into the first round. Maybe I was right. 24 would be the magic number, but I think a few people still practicing their last checkpoints while they still can.
Yeah. A few people still just finishing up, but we are underway. Will be 8 eliminations, I believe, until we get down to 64. So I'll say it. It'll be more than 8 in round 1, and from there on out, it'll be 4 eliminations around until we get to our end. Why don't we jump down and see? Well, there's Lucis sitting on the line, one of our top 16 who did compete in our last round. A lot of players still sitting on the line. I think we're going to have a lot of players just not starting as things stand. So we're on board right now with Mr. Popo, who is unfortunately down at that kind of edge, is currently one of the players at risk of elimination. And you can see there's a few players at risk of elimination there, as they're just falling behind the players who are getting away through that checkpoint in front.
And on top of that, right, we had guessed, okay, well, there's going to be, I guessed 24, you guessed 19, Blackburn's guessing 16, right? And we have 8 players on the start line, not even starting, right? So at this point, it's looking good for my prediction of 24. But yeah, this is looking difficult for a lot of players. A 1 minute flat from Tunix there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty solid time, right? And it's going to win first for most of these rounds. But look at Yannick's, right? All these resets, and he is, and that amazing crash, and he's still just 17th.
Yeah, like
15 seconds behind. If we
be
had a
bloodbath.
30-second timeout here, could you imagine a 15-second time requirement?
Yeah.
This would be terrible. We'd have 40 players out in the first round if it was only 30 seconds.
Yep, it's going to be brutal out here. I think we may have a second round as well that loses more than the default 4, as Jirto does manage to make it through that checkpoint just about, skin of his teeth, turtling the whole way. But now the jump. I mean, look, you've got the khaki tag on, and ooh, choosing to go for the safe route. I don't think we've actually seen that kind of safer version of doing that on camera yet. Going for the risky finish? No, just safing, getting through. Oh, no. 25 seconds. You can do this. I believe, Jirto. There you go. Made it across the line. 54th. I think we're already approaching below the 19 number. 15 cars, 15 seconds left. As Mwanjma Lebole is heading
Yes, wonderful.
He's going to cross the line, and that's 56 cars left, and that means Canada finishing as well. 15 players eliminated. The players do a better job than we were giving them credit for there. Any big names eliminated at this point? None that were I'd immediately recognize losers, of course, but didn't even start the race, so, you know, fair enough on that one. And other than that, no massive surprises right there. And we'll be down to 4 players eliminated per round. But again, I think we're probably expecting a couple more than that, QDC.
Yeah, I'd say now at this point we're going to see maybe 5, 6, right? Maybe 2 players who can't finish in the 1 minute 30 times. And that's going to be really rough for everyone at the top, right? Because they're going to be finished and they're going to be waiting there for 1 minute 30 cold, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're not practicing, they're not playing, they're relaxing, but that's a long wait. So this could be the longest mini RPG of the week ever, just because of how long this timeout is after the finish.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. We'll wait and see. Timeout will get a little bit shorter as rounds go on as well. CDGG currently down here as well, and there is a bit of a battle going on at the elimination zone. There's a lot of cars down in this zone, and with mistakes being possible anywhere on the track as well, this is definitely a track where it's all about keep pushing till the bitter end, because you never know what's going to happen in front of you. Right now, CDGG has managed to climb up, and having gotten there will do it, but that's going to be a difficult amount of speed to keep up for that when the double respawn comes through, and that means a full turnaround to try and gain speed, and that's going to continue to be a little bit tough. I do note we have a lot of very good mappers here as well, and here's 2 of them side by side, Arsvelu and Kiraj, both right next to each other on this one, both trying to get across. The player from Frontiers will get across, and there's the player who's no stranger to creating difficult maps, but driving someone else's very difficult map. Right now it's a little bit of a struggle, but that's a good transition. He's going to hit a pole. He's going to still get over. Kiraj has a little bit of work still to do to get across this line.
Yeah, there's a lot of work left to be done. 54th place, not bad, with 45 seconds behind. That's not something you see too often in a competition, where you're 40, 50 seconds behind. You're still in the yellow, right? You're not in the green, but you're definitely not in the red just yet. And especially now that you've hit the hardest checkpoint, there's a lot of players here, and a few of them don't know the safe way as Kiraj. Oh, that's so close, but that's ice. I thought that was platform.
No, that'd be easy.
Of course, as now, that's Panda who just finished 53rd. Only one more finish left.
No, Panada's still there. Panada's still just in front, and Kiraj then still in the places, could still get across this line, will make it in 53rd, and that means FPF Toto next on the line. FPF Toto lagging out directly in front of the line, so Firebuzz is trying to get there, but Firebuzz has crashed, and that means just get there. Surely Toto is across the line. No, Firebuzz, no, it was right there. Oh, it was right there. That's heartbreak.
Oh no.
That's actually heartbreaking.
Oh my god.
That
was beautifully heartbreaking.
Falling off the finish with 1 second remaining is, I think, probably the saddest way to possibly go out.
Being stuck on the finish with reactor boost while not being able to go off with slow-mo, and you could just see the time dwindling down. That must be the worst feeling. Ugh. And it cost him in the end, right?
Yeah, it did. I mean, he ended up dropping out. He's gone. He will not be back for this next round, but there's plenty of players who will, and there's some good players down here as well. Vol de Porc has been higher up on the leaderboards up until this point, now dropping a little bit in this bottom 4 and in the danger zone. Looker's Turbo dropping dangerously close to this as well, but still in front of it for the time being. And these gaps, they will get smaller, but for the time being, we're still going to see big gaps open up at the end of the map.
Yeah, big gaps, that's for sure. Because at the moment, I mean, the bottom players are behind by about 20 seconds, right? That's where the yellow stands at the moment, and the red is around 22 to 25 seconds. So let's see how that grows as more time gets on. Last round, there was around 40 seconds behind at this point. So as a lot of players are able to get out of that bottom, such as CDGG. Ooh, he's not out of that bottom. In fact, he is deep in that red section. Fit is also stuck in that section. Valong is also stuck. Yeah, there's a lot of people stuck in this section, and well, he's not stealing any pork anytime soon.
Nope,
That's for sure.
will not be. Will manage to get down this time, though, and able to get the double respawn. You saw one of the dangers on that section, the eyes turning you around too much, and all of a sudden you're going nose first into the boost and not able to get deep enough to get to that checkpoint. Our pork thief, though, heading towards the finish line now, and will, if he can get this jump cleanly, yes he does. That's very nice indeed. Will look safe, assuming the finish goes okay, and it's not gone particularly well. Full turnaround, safe it to the end. That's okay. Back to CDGG, who's trying to get there. Jura Jojo will get across the line. No is still respawning as well. And Jeremezer in front as well also has not crossed the line. There's still a few places left. There's 22 seconds left to get them. CDGG just in front. Both of these players will be safe. They are the last players to be safe. And so it's Fit, it's Jeremezer, it's Grease and Kawem who have dropped out on this round. And it is technically on pace this time around. No timeouts, QDC.
Oh, that's so sad for Jeremies. That is so sad for him. He just finds himself at the bottom, and well, him and his fans will have to watch on the sidelines from now for this match. Hey, Lucker's Turbo was down there as well for a little bit. It got scary, but towards the top, I have to give a shout out to Worker, who got the first sub 1 of this match.
Yeah. Sub 1 is, well, it's impressive. It's definitely impressive.
It's only one reset.
Yeah, it's legitimately kind of wild. And the fact that it is our second sub 1 of the evening, including during warm-ups, I think definitely worth a highlight. Nobody even close to touching Hazard's time of a 57-7 just yet, including Hazard, really.
Yeah, I think Hazard kind of fluked that at that time, right? Like, he just had a really good time and hasn't been able to replicate it whatsoever. And that's just funny, right? Because that happens to me so often. We're all making amazing time in, let's say, the campaign. I can't replicate it whatsoever. As you go, Jojo, oh, can he get out of there? Yes, he can.
Yeah,
Can he get into the checkpoint finally?
Kind of.
Yes, he can. It's painful, but he's there. He's finally there. Alasia is still not able to get into the checkpoint, though, and that will be pretty much the end for Alasia. That's really far behind, maybe even too far behind to really catch up. CDGG, once again, finding himself in the red, as well as Jojo gets out of that bottom, really. And even though he's bouncing all over the place, he's actually through and at a higher position for sure, because there's so many people here stuck.
I mean, look, we swapped on just in time. Surely you expect the person with the khaki club tag to be capable of getting those wall bangs. I mean, right, that's the closest thing to a khaki trick on this map. It's just the straightforward jumps that are proving a little bit bothersome right now. Yannick's will join that sub-minute club on this round, a minute ahead of course. Or sorry, a second ahead of course on this one, and Hazard still inside the top 3, but the battle near the bottom continues to be fierce. CDGG has been in this danger zone, has survived time on time so far. 50 seconds left to get across this line, but their players in front are getting more adept at getting across the line at this point.
Yeah, and at this point, it's actually really hard to get through here. Let's see if CDGG... Oh, he first tries that section. Let's see if he still has the time, though. Yes, he is. He's the last player who has the point. Oh, come on. You need to get it. You need to get in there. CDGG, someone's overtaking you. Get over it. Get over it. Go, go, no.
And MROTW had managed to sneak across in the middle there anyway. So both of them are eliminated. So that's nice. At least better. It didn't matter. I believe a first time through, though, that would have worked for CDGG, as both him and Jertope will land on that plus 1 minute 8 second mark behind the leaders. 3 seconds behind the player that knocked them out. So first time would have gotten CDGG through just there. It won't matter in the end. Will be eliminated. And there we go.
How are you enjoying saying all of these French names, by the way?
Listen, c'est pas mal, non?
Tu parles pas mal bien, je dirais, moi.
Ah ouais.
Ton français est très bon.
I think we've nailed it. Yeah, I don't know. Do the viewers need to hear my bad Irish Canadian accent and your French Canadian accent? Yeah. Yeah.
The worst part is that a lot of French people actually can't understand me when I speak, which is the hilarious thing, because, well, I don't understand them when they speak sometimes, which is hilarious. I actually had a full French teacher, a real French teacher for college, and I couldn't understand a word she was saying. All right, and it was the absolute worst. I just could not go into class without, like, not understanding what was happening in class, so I had to switch classes. And yeah, that's just my story of college, pretty much. That's the entire story of college for me.
It's a good story of college, you know. I mean, there's definitely some deep South Ireland accents that you'd struggle to understand without a degree, without a PhD in linguistics.
To be fair,
think, maybe.
To be fair, there are a lot of Irish people here. Do they speak as tonal as regular Irish people, like mainland Irish people? I wouldn't think so. But they still have a bit of an Irish tone to them. I think that still gets passed down generation from generation.
I believe the only Gaeltacht, as in the only Irish-speaking region in the world outside of Ireland, is in Canada. Someone can fact-check me on that, but right now Silvius will get across this line. It is now a little bit of a battle. Dargan is in 43rd, going through those checkpoints. Canada has finished, and that means Dargan is going to be that little bit slowed down to a timeout anyway. And we are at a point now where we have moved. We've decided that the timeout was getting a little bit too generous to our players, QDC. And we will be going to a 55-second timeout instead.
All right. I think that feels just about fair. 55 seconds, I think, is what the slowest of players were really getting at. So at this point in time, as we whittle down the field, we don't want the top players to be waiting for too long, right? And we want them to be practicing more and more and staying warm on the map as well, right? The more time you wait and just have to be patient, right, is less time that you get to actually practice the map and stay memorized on the map as well. Yeah. So overall, it is a good idea to lower down that timer, because otherwise you could
we could
very much so force someone to be cold.
And as has been pointed out by Lingo in the in-game chat, you know, we do need to get to the Molotov Cup at some point tonight. That'll also be happening on this channel. So yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to start that. Someone pun, no! The over-rotation will cost them the checkpoint. They will get it the second time. Vasconage still sitting safe up front as this middle checkpoint, this wall bang is definitely separating the wheat from the chaff at the moment, as players are struggling to get over a little bit. Tomote with an upside down, making it down to the bottom there. Wolfie will get overtaken as Tomote goes flying past in the distance, and now sitting in 39th. We're seeing at the bottom here, not many players going for the riskier route on that one. Earlier on, I saw Yannick's going for the safe route as well, but I think at this point we can safely assume most of the players near the top are taking the risky road in the middle.
Worker's dead.
Worker is dead. Worker gone. Unless... yeah,
I don't think he has time.
Yeah,
no, he doesn't have time.
Gone. There, absolutely. He's gone. That'll be Worker out. We actually saw, and maybe worth mentioning, Korch did DNF in a previous round as well. I didn't call it out at the time. Maybe should have. Korch definitely a player who does quite well normally too. So maybe that was a mispress. Maybe it was just, you know, Korch had better things to do with his life. Either way, a couple of big players have started to drop out here for the time being. And we'll see if that continues. I think we expect that to start to continue down to under 40 players. We're running out of spots for some of these players, and the timeout is becoming less relevant as players do start to just get across that line in time.
Now, if you wanted to spice things up, of course, you could lower that by 5 seconds every single round, right? And then by the end of the match, right, it's 0 seconds and only one player gets to finish, right?
Sure. I mean, the final round, that's basically what happens anyway, yeah.
Right. What's the point in continuing unless you want to show off for like a minute and a half?
It's so true.
While the timer plays.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm appreciating the threats from Ars Velu of putting a few more maps in for Mini RPG of the Week Season 2, because, yeah, Ars Velu put in some good ones for Season 1. We saw a lot of bear-themed maps. Looking forward to Season 2 ones as well. Might get some from Kiraj as well if we're lucky. Who knows? I don't know what's coming in the future. Right now I'm watching the Irishman of Tiger, who I saw in chat here, I believe, at some point as well. Just DNF, having left the server, I believe. So that's just, you know, I guess, unfortunate. Irish representation goes out the window on this one. Right now, Tomote is struggling in the middle. Teammate from Tora, Jan, also struggling a little bit. So far, a little bit behind, but maybe time to catch up yet. We'll be going for this risky route in the middle, and we can see players there. Looker's Turbo is actually respawning in front as Jam is struggling to get the wheels under them, get traction, get through the checkpoint, and try and catch back up.
Oh, is that a skip? Oh, it's a skip! Oh, that's so smart! Oh, that is so smart!
No. Well,
someone found a skip!
We've outed it on stream now, so if anyone's been watching stream, there you go. I hope you had your eyes on that. I hope you've managed to finish in time. That is a skip. That got Jam right back into the thick of things, finishing up in about 30th, 33rd place that time around, as Arsvelu will not get across the line in time. Tomote drops out, Tiger drops out, Arsvelu and Corzo in 35th place.
Oh no, Corzo caught out as well. That is... Oh no.
Ooh.
This is a really tough map. First you lose Worker, then you lose Corzo, and of course you lose your Irish representation, but you know what he's actually representing? He's representing the Irish internet. That's what he's representing.
So true. So true. Irish internet, one of, I think, one of the only RLCS pros to ever have to miss a match in Europe because of internet issues, and of course, it was the Irish one. It just makes sense, doesn't it?
It feels like the European continent as a whole, right? Because the British Isles and all that is still like considered a part of the European continent, right?
The landmass,
it just has some pretty bad internet all around, right? Germans and the Brits as in general, the Irish, right? You've got yourself a pretty hard time with the internet over there in Europe. Even me, middle of nowhere, Canada, you know, I still have stable internet,
Jam,
you know?
Jam.
Look at that.
Oh, it's so cheeky.
How many players did he caught up? He caught up 8 players.
Yep.
8 players.
Yep, he's gotten a long way back. Right now, though, it is a battle. It's a blood battle finish. Pun is so quick. He gets the zoop, and Deloitte snipes 30th place away. BMX will not make it across the line in time. Flow from loading drops out. Yogg, BMX, and Argicus are the 4 players. We lose that round, and it got messy at the finish line right there. Couple of snipes happening, and Deloitte getting through by the skin of their teeth ultimately.
Yeah, and that was really close for Deloitte. That is how you do it, though. Very well done. And so now they are in top 30 at minimum. Everyone is in top 30 now. And at this point in time, it's just how far can you go, as we still have 4 more rounds of this? Yeah, 4 more rounds of 4 eliminations before we get to the 2 eliminations. And at that point, we'd be in top 14.
Ooh. Very exciting. I'm seeing a couple of players lose to the bounce on the water just there. Veen's dropping a long way down as a result. Jump on board with the player from loading. See how things go for them. Already catching straight back up, and this turn looks to go nice and smoothly. I suppose the question is, up at the front, how many of these players have figured out the skip? How many of these players have gotten there? So, you know what? We're going to stick near the front for a little bit on this round, because I don't know if you're as interested as I am. I'm interested to see who is going for that up near the front.
Well, so far, Lucker's Turbo is actually in first, surprisingly enough, as he's got to stay there. Yannick's makes a mistake, and so let's see what Turbo does. No skip. No one's really skipping so far, and so I don't think the players are going to go for it.
Yeah, I don't see it, unless Hazard did, because Hazard did appear a little bit out of nowhere to do that one. So maybe Hazard's figured it out. Maybe Hazard is going for that. Not entirely sure. We'll wait and see. Right now, Rapido struggling a little bit. Jam going for the skip again. Here we are. How many places can he overtake? Or is it getting to a point where it's not gaining him enough time? Has gained plenty of places. I don't know what I was worried for. Jam across the line safely one more time. Wolfie down in 27th is going to crash into a wall. Is going to get overtaken by Gold, and Gold crosses the line in plenty of time. So does Wolfie. It's E-Monsters maybe at risk. There's 2 players getting there, and E-Monsters spins out. Enos crossed the line in 26th, overtaking E-Monsters at the finish. And Genots, E-Monsters, Rapido, and Pun will drop out of the competition. 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th.
How lucky for Enos, who gets himself out on orange. That is so rough. On plus 33 on top of that, right? That is... You are as good as dead, because he's normally a front-running pack player, and the players at the front were practically... I'm sure they were praying. A few of them, at least, because that is a player to watch out for. That is a player that you don't want to keep on fighting there. I mean, one good player out makes their job a lot easier, but the fact that he stays in on orange just made everyone's job harder.
Yeah. Look, it's... I see Lars there in the chat asking as well, are cuts allowed in this competition? And yeah, I mean, I think it's very much in the spirit of mini RPG to be like, just get around this track the fastest way possible. Like, hey, you figure something out, go for it, chief.
Like, honestly, RPG is all about cutting through stuff, right, though? So it just feels like that's a part of the map. I feel like that's a safe way through, if anything, even though it's not
fantastic,
intentional.
Yeah. It is a safe way. I mean, I agree with you. I think, like, we'll have to actually see a time on someone getting through cleanly. And see, because there's a chance with the speed and the momentum you keep from going the intended route that they're at least equally viable with maybe a little bit more speed being kept through the other one. We're seeing a lot more players, though, go for that safer route right now. This is maybe a good example of it right now. Is Jared Jojo straight through, and I think actually nearly caught up on a lot of those players. Has, in fact, climbed a little bit and will finish in 15th place. So there's... It's interesting. It's almost, I don't know if it's intentional, if it's not intentional. It's a safe route. I don't think it's by default faster.
Hazard's
Either way, though, Hazard will drop out in 23rd.
I guess Hazard just didn't know where the skip was.
Possibly.
Tried to find it.
Whoo.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
And remember how I said, hey, if you can get yourself first and you just wait out for a couple of like 30 seconds, right? Well, you have so much time to kill and you're gonna get cold. Well, you know, you could always just turn on the stream and just watch it, right? You could be like
do a bit of scouting. Yeah, do a bit of scouting. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about a cut over here, right? People in chat are talking about a cut. Surely you have the time within those 30 seconds to just search up. Oh, okay, that's how you cut. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Exactly. Let's see if it is working. And again, like, I think it does come down to it, because I'm seeing the question in chat, is the cut faster in the in-game chat? And I'm not entirely convinced that the cut is actually faster. By the way, that just for a Twitch chat, that is definitely not the book I'm still reading. That's a few books ago. I'll update that afterwards. But, you know, in the meantime, we're on board with Looker's Turbo, who I think we're going to get to see pretty quickly on this one if the cut is faster. Look, it's safer. I think that's the main thing that is selling it right now.
It is much safer. That is the main point, right? You'd rather lose 1 second fully slowing down to go through the skip than to get through this section and potentially hit the pole, hit the side of the wall, fly out after the blind transition here. And even though the Turbo did this correctly, he didn't gain too many spots, right? And there's only 2 spots that he went up, and he got overtaken by 2-3 players while doing so. So as more players learn of the skip and more players who go out who didn't know the skip, well, they jam. No, he's in last.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now the finish timeout can be around the 20-second mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Black Pulse was the last player to get through there, driving across the line, and Jam, the player who introduced us on stream to the cut. I don't know if they were the first one to actually figure it out. They will drop out here, and we'll see how things go from this point out, as we are now in our last round of 4 eliminations. This one's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, definitely is going to be a bloodbath. Nice to see that a lot of good players, though, are left, but a lot of players who I think would normally not be up this high are very consistent, right? And the fact that this map just is so hard makes it so that if you only make 3-4 mistakes, you're still in, right? Yeah, and absolutely. So at this point in time, especially now that you're going into top 2 eliminations, and in top 14, well, I think you're good up until top 8 as long as you don't make an egregious mistake and get stuck at 1 checkpoint, right? Especially if you know the skip at the end, you could definitely save your bacon. As here comes Alpha Dream. He's going to overtake a lot of people here. Right, yeah, he's going to overtake 3 players there. Lingo actually lingering towards the bottom. So is Kiraj and Colejo, who finds himself all the way at the bottom as well as Lingo now. He's going to need to... Oh, he's not going for the skip either. He's going to overtake 1 at least, but is that enough? Is that going to be enough? He's got more speed than the others. Is he still in red, though? No, he's not, and he's through safely in 10th. Many people... Oh, wait. The Black Pulse? Oh, no! I think he's stuck! I think he's stuck! No! Oh, he didn't save it, but it was close. It was close.
I think it would have been a hit and run thing. Look, good aerial control from Black Pulse, if nothing else on that, you know. Nearly went off the edge and managed to haul it back. Gets across the finish line, but it's a pride thing at that point. Finishing in 17th place. And I think that what we're seeing at the top there is players deciding that actually the regular way is faster, if a little bit less safe, right? Because I mean, look, it's a more direct route that you can take with more speed. It just makes sense that it's faster, right?
Right, I definitely take it. Let's say if I crashed, right, in that area.
Absolutely. If you're low on speed going into that jump, I completely agree. I think it feels safer, right? It is the way to go. But you are then relying on the fact that players in front of you don't get through the faster route.
Right. And obviously it is going to be faster, but it is going to be riskier. I still see 2-3 players making mistakes at that point. So I wouldn't be surprised if 2-3 more still in this situation don't get through, and well, we'll rely on that safe finish. Well, skip cut finish, if you will.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yannick is on the climb back up at the moment, currently sitting in 13th place. And I mean, we're getting to a point where he is still a full, basically 4 seconds behind the players in front. And there is a mistake from the player just in front of him. I'm not sure exactly who that was. It looked like, yeah, Nick Sobey is gone. Lucker's Turbo has DNF'd, and that means it is a straight fight to get to this finish line right now. One player to be eliminated of those remaining on track. All players, it looks like, just going for this normal route at this point. Look, they've got it down. And it is fast. Yannick's respawned, and that means he has to get across the line. He still gets across the line. Nalix will be the big loser on this one. Forced to respawn again. Nick Sobey makes it across the line, and missing the finish means Nalix drops out in 13th.
Lingo wants to be spectated. I think he wants the attention. He likes the attention, but are we going to give it to him?
Lingo did come into Twitch chat earlier specifically to tell us that he would crash out if we spec'd him. So, I mean, right, yeah, so, like, we're going to spec him. I mean, he's literally...
Okay, bye-bye, away, crash.
Yeah, it was nice having you here, aware.
Aware, bye. On voit la semaine prochaine.
On the other hand, I mean, unfortunately, he's doing a little bit too well, and I'm no longer interested. So I'm going to drop down to where Marius is struggling a little bit. In fact, I see Alpha Dream going slowly at the back of the pack and now a long way back. Hostile did start the round, but is now a long way back. And Alpha Dream is going to have the speed to make it over here, but now a lot of work to do to catch back up with the players in front. A mistake really needing to come through from someone in front as well.
Yeah, that's... Well, I mean, for Alpha Dream right now, as long as he doesn't make more mistakes, he'll be fine. Because Hostile and Kiraj are really far behind. They are finding themselves very, very deep into the red at this point. And Kiraj and Hostile deep into the 10 seconds of red. And now they're 5 seconds behind Orange. And at this point, that is pretty much GG's already. As the players are going to start coming through here. Kami, who is in 10th, is going to come through to finish in 7th with a beautiful... risky finish as Vinch. Wait, Total. Vinch, just get in.
We'll
just
make
get
it.
In. Ooh.
It got close.
Really close.
Yeah, for a gap that was up around 6-7 seconds going towards that finish, Kiraj brought it back to within 6/10, and Hostile will just look to get across this line one more time, but that will be the end of the evening for them. 20 seconds left on the timeout timer, and there we go. Yannick's recovering from a shaky last round to set a 58.749, and we do have a few players inside that 1 minute mark now, 8 of them to be precise. But a lot of the players in that kind of top 8, and a lot of the players in the top 15 in general, have been eliminated already.
Hey, what is this, Div 30? I mean, we're in top 8, and the people who are still in are 10 seconds behind. Come on now. This is reminiscent of when I used to be able to play the game. Because I can't at this point, right? But back when I did, I used to be a Div 30 gamer, and I could easily get top 8 if I was just like 5 seconds behind the pace. As long as I wasn't crashing out and resetting everywhere. You could get pretty much easy top 8s, and so this point in time, it kind of feels the same way, but ooh, now everyone's really close, and you can see that I'm eating my words at this point, because only Kami's made a mistake, and, well, God, at this point, he still finds himself in the fray. He's still just a couple seconds behind, and a couple seconds, more than enough, especially if he goes for this cut and doesn't want to risk going through the plastic section. But we see it more and more now, right? The players are getting more and more consistent, more and more strong, as there was one player. Who was that? I think that was a French player. Must have been Liker. Oh no.
Overtakes everyone and then crashes anyway. Will still make it in safe 7th place. Alpha Dream in 8th, and Comey will drop to 10th ultimately. Enos is, well, okay, look, it's all still up for grabs, as I believe Comey has left. It just hasn't shown up as DNF. That's an Alt F4 if I've seen one. And Enos will cross the line in 9th place. Comey nowhere to be found, and that is the first 2 of our top 10 locked in. As Liker TM our boy Liker did go for the safer route there and did overtake a few players. Maybe that cut is a little bit faster. Questions still to be seen around it. But look, we're in our last round of double elim here, and then we are down to 1. And in our top 8, there are a lot of fast drivers left. There are a lot of safe drivers left too. We still have the Safe Meister himself, and these players are getting a lot more consistent.
A lot more consistent. Yeah, they're all in one pack now, right? They're not exactly all separated like a massive accordion at this point in time. They are, well, they are a squeezed accordion at this point in time. They are not outstretched whatsoever. When it comes to BIPL, I think I did that with Zapdos, so you and Zapdos cast would actually be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be great. I haven't actually, I think I've done it with him once. I believe I'll be doing some of it over this winter. I believe we have people like Orion potentially lined up to do some of it as well. I guess we'll wait and see is the answer. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that happen. But in the meantime, look, we're in our top 8. We got focus to do here. We saw Vinch with a big crash, and now they are on the hunt. I'm going to stay on board with Marius. There's two players still going for that cut there. Let's see where Marius comes out compared to them. A long way in front at the moment, and so it will come down to this finish. In fact, he's still behind them. That cut definitely fast, but the finish good. Lars makes it across. It's Alpha Dream who drops out. It's Vinch in 8th. And I think Marius did the normal route about as well as could be expected. He was about on par with other people going through the cut, although he caught up with them because they started out the route. I think I'm still prepared to say that the cut and the normal route are about even in terms of total time.
Yeah, I'd say so, because you need to be slower to take the cut, right?
So you need to slow down to do a full turn, essentially.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Also, shout out to Yannick, who gets the second fastest time so far, finally being able to beat Hazard's time. The only other player who was able to beat that time was Kami, actually, who got out in top 10. So at this point in time, right, the only player that's on top of the leaderboard is out. Hazard has been out forever, and you now have only Yannick who's been able to do a 57 at this point, and everyone else 58s or 59s, and even Marius hasn't even been able to crack that 1 minute barrier yet. So at this point in time, he's in big trouble, and well, the only person who's in bigger trouble is Lars and the Scooby, who both have made massive mistakes. In fact, everyone except for Lingo has made a massive mistake so far, and Marius is just able to save his way all the way to the finish as Lingo and Marius. Ooh, there you go, Liker. You can see he really needs to slow down to get through it, but it's a lot shorter of a route to go for, and I do think because of that it is faster.
Yeah, Lars is safe. Lingo
Okay.
will get there, forced to respawn. And there is Nick Sobi. It looked risky there for a second for Lars. It looked riskier for Lingo. Both of them will stay in, and a 6th place is nothing to sniff at in a very difficult track this evening for Nick Sobi. That means we're into our top 5. We're rapidly approaching the podium here. Week 1 of Season 2, Week 26 overall. Mini RPG of the Week is delivering tonight. And these players who can deliver the best on track when it comes down to it, when the pressure is on, these tricks continue to be tough. And we've seen these players, these rounds still being decided by mistakes. Will that continue to be the case? Lingo will bounce off. Liker bounces as well, but it wasn't as bad. And it's Lingo now on the chase.
Yeah, Lingo now has to chase down these players. He's going to need to start risking here. It's going to be really tough. He's behind by 2.5 seconds off of Yannick's, but he's behind by only 1.5 seconds on Marius, and that is a crash. That is a big crash, and he just straight up DNFs and leaves the match. Oh no, Lingo, you can't do that. What happens if up at front they make a mistake? No. Lingo, quits fessa, manga, man. Come on now.
Marius is definitely going to make a mistake here at the end. I think 3 of 4 players go for the cut there. Marius, let's see, compared to them, comes out a relatively long way behind. That's a gap of nearly 1 second. I think that's a pretty good argument in favor of the cut there at the end. And Yannick sets the 56.3.
Yeah, good there Lord. You go. There you go. And that's with the cut too, right? So at this point in time, I think everyone needs to cut. And even Marius here, he might not know of the cut, but I think he still needs to go for it. Lars, Liker, and Yannick are all going for it, and so Marius here will need to go for it. I do believe the OK Boys are in the call, so I'm surprised that Marius isn't going for it. He does love a good cut or two, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, especially given it's safe. Like, I mean, it is a way safer line than the original line. Like, yeah, I mean, crazy to me that he hasn't immediately jumped on that one. But hey, he's still fighting for a podium right now. And again, this is the man with the most mini RPG of the week wins to his name. So I think he's earned a little bit of leeway when it comes to us questioning his decisions. And we'll see how it happens as we fight for these podium spots.
However, he is the slowest person left here in terms of fastest times. Everyone else capable of 58s at the least. He's only capable of 1 minute, and he's got a big crash here. He's going to be sideways and a lot slower, and so he's going to need to have an amazing end here, or hope that someone else crashes out and he's the only one not going for the skip here. Let's see how much slower he is, how far behind. Look at that. He is so far behind, but it's not even close. Lars!
Marius!
Oh, Marius failed
Lars
the
crashed
ending.
again. Lars crashed again. No, he didn't crash. He made it through the finish. I thought Lars had crashed again. Marius made it through. Ultimately, a long way behind them. Irrefutable proof that the cut is faster. Alpha has decided themselves in chat now that the cut is not allowed, but no, it very much is. All three of our podium know how to use it, and they will go for it. Marius drops out in 4th place. Hey, look, he'll still make the TM news announcement, but right now it comes down to Yannick's, Lars, and Liker for this top 3 and see who we get in our finals.
1 German, 1 Swiss, and 1 French player left here. Who do you got your money on? Well, let's see. As Lars currently in the lead, dressed behind him is Yannick, who overtakes him, in fact, at the checkpoint. However, Liker's made a massive mistake. He's behind by 3.3, and he's going to need to hope for a mistake ahead by the other 2 players who are in front. Yannick's in the lead. Lars in 2nd, and Yannick's with a big mistake, but he's going to be able to respawn this.
Down?
But how? No! He was getting pushed back from the booster. Wait, Liker, he's going to need to respawn himself, and so it's going to actually be really close here. Liker and Yannick's. We got to stay on Yannick's here as Lars gets a free finish. But Liker and Yannick side by side as they both go for this skip, and it's going to be Liker for sure now, who's really far ahead unless he messes up this last turn. And he does! He messes it up! Yannick doesn't steal! He doesn't snipe! It doesn't matter! Liker is still in! And now it's France versus Germany in the top 2.
That was less than 1/10 of a second. 900ths of a second between the 2 drivers as one goes for the risky fin, one goes for the safe. It's France versus Germany, as you say, in this final. Can Lars hold on? Do it for Marius. Do it for our multiple-time winner, or Liker, looking to steal it away. Defend the pride of the French after Aurel came home as the mini RPG of the week, Season 1 finals winner. Liker's been slow off this start line all night long, looking now to catch up with Lars as they head through this middle section of the map, relying maybe on a mistake from Lars, but Lars has looked good in these last few rounds. That's a great turn from Liker, managing to hold on to the back wheels of Lars, heading towards this finish line, heading towards the middle section of the map, and it is heading towards neck and neck. Lars a little bit loose, a little bit sloppy, but he's carrying more speed out of every turn so far. Liker with a much slower jump needs to line this one up well though. Lars extends that lead a little bit, is nearly 0.8 of a second ahead as we head now towards the skip. One last time, one more finish. That's surely the only place. No, Liker crashes. Liker crashes. I was gonna say surely it comes down to the finish. Surely it comes down to who gets across the line best. But it's Lars with plenty of time, and Lars with a mistake. Lars with a mistake. Liker still a long way back. Lars will make it across the line with plenty of time to spare. He'll win week 1 of Season 2 Mini RPG of the Week. Liker comes home in 2nd.
Now, Lars probably just had a mini heart attack there, right?
Oh, yeah.
When he crashes at the end. He does not know just how far behind Liker is, right? Exactly. He's probably have the HUD closed as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so the fact that he just crashed there, he knew he was in first, but by how much he didn't know. So him crashing and needing to reset, and that was a long reset as well, right? He easily lost, I think, 3 seconds. So that in and itself probably gave him a mini heart attack, but congratulations to him on winning this mini RPG of the week. Is this his first one? I would doubt it. I would doubt that
I
this
don't
was
think. Oh, I really need to find that. I need to make a spreadsheet with the stats of the winners. I don't have one, but I'll get there. Either way, congratulations to Lars. That's going to be it for week 1 of season 2 of Mini RPG of the Week. As always, check out the Discord for more news, information about Mini RPG of the Week. Reach out to Zederate if you feel like, hey, I could build a map that could be featured on this competition. We have a few lined up, ready to go, but we'd love to see what yours looks like. QDC, thank you very much for joining me. And I am going to say that's it. That's us. That's signing off for week 26 of Mini RPG of the Week. And we'll see you back here for the next one.